Today's show is brought to you by Even Keel Fish Shack.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Happy Wednesday. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, or wherever you are, whenever you're tuning in to the Lunchbox. Welcome. And here we are, gentlemen. Jeff Defo, DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, and I'm Mike Mayo. This is Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, streaming to you live, weekdays at noon on the SoFly Live Network. So happy to be here today, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
Couldn't be better. Of course, today is a big day, a day of reckoning for Mike Mayo, and you're not acting like you're walking the plank here. I really respect the way you're approaching this.
It's
Fueled, of course, by several large poker scores that you made the last couple of days.
Well,
You're the one who's excited to go and pay
it's really
for a dinner
weirding me out.
for, I guess, four now tonight at Tropical Acres. That's great.
Yeah. So you use the words day of reckoning, and it's funny because in more ways than one, you don't realize how much it was for me today. And I'm very excited to finally repay this Panthers first round win bet tonight. Lubie, Defo, and the official mascot scorekeeper of the Lunchbox, Jim Sarney, will be joining us on my dime, and I'm very happy to do this, and looking forward to getting the Twin Lobsters, and maybe somebody will be willing to do a little splitting of surf and turf, get a fillet, and I'll give you a lobster, you'll give me a little piece of fillet. We'll figure that out later. But Defo, I have a question for you, because quite often on the air you talk about the worst words in the English language, the two worst words
that are grouped together.
He has a
I do.
7 out.
And
Seven
market
out.
price.
Inquiry. I mean,
And in relation to restaurants, what is it? It's
Market
price.
market price. Now, this isn't two words, but what are the best four words you can hear in the English language?
Best foreign words you could hear in the English language. Your divorce is official. I don't know. Where are you going with this, Mike Mayo? I'm not sure.
No, there will be no change. That's number one. If you're holding a ticket, that's,
Yes.
sweating an inquiry, right? That's one
Yeah.
of them. No, the biopsy is negative.
Oh,
And-
thank
Oh,
God.
right.
Thank
There
God.
we go. Very good.
And,
Wow.
and when you hear those words, it's
Woo.
like a result. What a relief. I mean,
Well, I would think more like a gambler in this case, where you win like 2,000 at the track, but it's not enough. You're thinking that could have won 3. In this case, if it was negative, then you didn't have to go through that torture that you described to us. So it was totally unnecessary to go through that whole procedure. Incredible,
now
just to find out you didn't have anything.
right. But you know what? There's only one way to know for sure, and
I
that's
guess,
to go
yeah.
through the
Exactly.
procedure, as unpleasant as it may be. And, discussing, my health on the air. My mom didn't even know about this. I didn't want to needlessly worry her. And everybody was saying, oh, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing. And
It's
it
worse
turned
now,
out-
though, with a mother that's, 80 plus, because my mother would immediately say, if I told her, hey, guess what? I had these tests that turned out to be nothing. I don't want to concern you. She would say, what? You lied to me? You said you were fine. And
So
it would become a guilt trip no matter what.
there was no lying, but this is another thing that talking about divorce. The ex Mrs. Mayo, or we call her baby mama Michelle now.
I'm not
always-
sure that women really dig that, though. She
Oh, no, no, this is-
It sounds very ghetto, very disrespectful. my
It's
friend.
This is her-
She came up with it.
This is
Yeah.
her preferred nomenclature. I used to
right.
call her, she kept my last name. She still goes by Michelle Mayo. I would call her ex Mrs. Mayo. She goes, no, I'm still Mrs. Mayo or Ms. Mayo. And she says, just call me baby mama. And I was like, okay, I'll call you baby mama.
All
So-
right.
but,
Well, if it came from her, then it's acceptable.
hates
But-
It's
but
kind of like
sh-
our jokes about the Jews. Yeah.
So she came up with this concept that I was not familiar with. That did you know this? That there's something known as lying by omission, where
Yes.
if
Yes,
you
of
don't,
course.
Women will make
It's
sure you know that.
It's like an error of omission, where you just left something out.
I
or-
never said anything that was untrue. I just didn't tell you about something. That
You
doesn't
know
make it a
something and you
lie.
didn't say it. A woman
So-
will make sure to tell you that's a lie. I've heard
Yeah.
So
that.
now my mom is going to be upset because I lied by omission. No, I didn't lie. I didn't needlessly concern her until look, there was something going on.
You
a
could have
little
told her what
wonky.
was happening, and
Yeah.
she would have been able to,
No,
console
she
you
would
and
have
or help
been.
you through
She
it.
would have worried herself to death. You should
Of
see
course.
her blood pressure without knowing certain things. She just,
Exactly.
she's
Believe me, you
the
can't win.
The Jewish
quintessential,
It's like the Rocky
prototypical,
movie. You can't win, Rock. These was good fighters.
stereotypical Jewish mother who just, she does that. The whole reason of existence is just to worry.
Yes.
So that's it.
That's the word.
But anyway, look, I'm in a very buoyant mood.
My
today.
mother
Yes,
had me
yes.
dead on a rice paddy in Vietnam when I drew number 287 in the draft lottery. Think about that.
She was
Like,
she
no,
wanted to
that's
kill
good
you.
that I didn't get the, something low number.
These are things I'm glad I'm not familiar with. By the time I came of age, I had to
Yeah.
register for the draft, but there was no more draft. So I
All
did
right.
I did my duty. I put in my registration, but luckily they did away with it and they never reinstated it. So although I think kids today are still supposed to actually officially register in case
I
they
don't
ever
know if I
bring it
can.
back. But I have no idea. I have no idea about these things. All I know is that
Well, congratulations. sir.
I add that to the greatest words in the English language. The biopsy is negative. And let me ask you this:
People are
Defo-
concerned about your health, though, with this. I mean, we're only in the middle of the sandwich month, and you've had at least 16 different sandwiches and going on 17 today. And then on top of that, you're eating like 5 other sandwiches a day. And Mustang actually, and a couple of things
Not
came
wrong.
up. And this is interesting because yesterday I was at the Deadpool dinner party, and it was great.
Ain't even
And everybody gets together there. What?
There are some people in our audience who are a little bit mortified and offended that you actually take part in an activity
Some-
where you gather, draw names. Now, do you?
We
is this
didn't
like
draw
what-
it last night. This was just the annual dinner party.
Who
Yeah,
isn't
it was-
mortified? What do you mean some? Who is not? Who thinks this is a good
Come
idea?
on, man. I mean, listen, James Caan checked out, and he would be happy to know in his afterlife that 2 people were richly rewarded for the fact that he died. One guy made like 80 grand, and the other guy made 12. So
Oh my
Yeah,
They
god!
that
shot
was pretty good.
Sonny, and somebody profited. That's a beautiful
Right.
thing. Yeah.
But here was the thing about that. You know what? One of the hot topics of conversation was at the Deadpool dinner party. Get this,
Tell me
Mike
this.
Mayo, because I come in. I don't know. I guess I have like minor celebrity status in this place because people know me from being a sportscaster all of these
Grade
years.
D celebrity.
And so I come in, and they're like happy. Hey, look at that! The Forest plays in the Deadpool. The big question was, what happened to the radio show? Why isn't it on at 12 anymore?
Oh,
And
Oh,
I told the people it was on at 8, and then we do the stream live at 12 o'clock. But it was a little complicated to explain. But that came up more than once. I will say, I guarantee you,
That's-
more than once.
that's really encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
That they were listening. When you said what happened to the radio show, I thought you meant like the one that Brady Quinn that you were the first person in
No,
history
well,
to get
I mean that one
replaced in a starting job by Brady
Brady
Quinn.
Quinn. Yeah, that was ugly. I mean, that's
that
almost
was a year ago.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about the changes at Oldies, South Florida. So I'm glad to know that it had a little bit of a
Had an
following,
impact.
and it has a following. And tell
Yes.
all your friends that we've got this new channel rolling, and that if they just join the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, they could catch us for the live stream every day at noon to 1, and then it'll be posted on there to for your viewing pleasure anytime, where you could watch me stuff my face with sandwiches for
Great
Sandwich
comment
Month or other
by
things.
Green Eyed
Yes.
Girl before
Yes,
you get into
what's
that sandwich.
Yes.
Was the party held at a morgue? No, it was at a restaurant. It was great. I mean,
All right, I need to understand a couple of things about the Deadpool, and
Okay.
I know this is a little macabre, and we're going to be actually getting into the hot topic of the day, food-wise, also, and fortunately involves tragedy and death, which is the fatal oyster, the case of the fatal
Oh,
oyster
yeah,
what
that's
at
happened?
that
crazy.
local
Wow.
restaurant, the
I
Rustic
checked
Inn.
out, huh?
We're going to get into that in a minute, but first of all, I have questions. So the Deadpool, is it
Yeah.
just somebody comes up with a list of likely names and puts them in a hat and people draw them?
Sort of,
or is it-
yeah. I mean, in this case, you have about, I don't know, maybe 200 names in circulation, and
Wait.
each person in the pool draws 2 names every month or every time it's
Sometimes
open
it passes.
where it isn't hit. Yeah,
I
go
need a
ahead.
timeout. Okay.
Time
when you
out.
say 200 names in circulation, is there a master Grim Reaper who's like coming up with a master list of
It's
people
older
likely
people.
to die?
No, I mean,
or-
no diseased people. I mean, if you're known to have cancer, you're not on the list. That kind of thing.
So,
That's a head
because
start.
I was thinking like a fantasy league or golf masters pool where the people themselves come up with their own names until they come off a board or something like a
No,
people-
the
like
names
you
are
don't
already
you
set.
can't okay
Yeah,
that
you
to
can't
me
pick a guy, and
that to
wishing he
me
dies.
is even
Man, that's
sicker.
had
So it's like
info.
somebody's playing God like on Yom Kippur, where they have the big list and the book
Yeah.
of life and the book of
There it
who's
is.
not going to make it, and so somebody's deciding who's on the list. Because I was thinking, like, who would I put on my list if I had like the top 5 choices? And I would go with John
But you're
Daly
not
every
rooting
year.
for these guys to die. You're not
Well,
rooting for them. I mean, it's not like you're sitting there going, "Boy, I
aren't
can't
you?
wait for so and so to check out." Although there are people that
Yeah,
might
just-
make that list, but we're
I
not
could
that
think of
bad.
a few former presidents. Well, one
Yeah,
former
well, yeah. I
president,
mean, you
but
see what's going on, but no, it's random draw. It's almost like done as if you were drawing post positions for like the Travers or something, where your name is here, and then the numbers that are associated with whoever the person is going to be that your name is, the name you're going to draw, and they pull them out like simultaneously. So it's all very on the up and up, very fair. And it rolls over if nobody hits it, because there's a chance,
it rolls
naturally
over,
that
so to speak, as
it
as
rolls
are the
over.
people in the
That's a
graves.
beautiful thing.
People are
It's a-
rolling over in their graves if they know that you guys are doing this, and people are profiting
Deadpool
from their
has a
demise.
rollover factor, which I think is very appropriate. And so you're actually hoping that nobody hits it for a few months, and that you hit one,
Build
that's gone on for like a year.
Okay, this is both fascinating and disturbing.
Here's a
and
better pool, though,
I
Mike
don't know
Mayo.
if I
I'm
could
working
take
on
part in
this right
this.
now. The golf pool for the
Golf.
BMW Classic here that's taking, not
Jesus.
BMW, whatever this tournament is. Yeah, BMW Championship.
Is that the one
Taking
that
place
used
this
to-
week. This is the
is it
last one of the year, the golf pool.
Akron, Ohio? Is this the one that used to be the
Wilmington
Firestone?
Country Club somewhere. That must be Delaware, no?
Oh, okay. I have no
What'd you
idea
think?
anymore. I've stopped paying attention to golf. But
This makes
no,
this
it's
week's
good.
tournament, which would be irrelevant to me, totally fascinating for the $50
It's
entry fee. It's
all
worth
about
it.
the horses and poker.
Yeah.
So the other question I was going to ask before we got veered off into these macabre things like the
The golf
Deadpool.
pool is not macabre.
Well,
I mean,
so
it's
who?
golf.
No. I was talking about the Deadpool. Who do you
Oh,
hold
okay.
in the Deadpool? Who are you actively rooting for their
Right now, I
demise?
have O.J. Simpson, which he's going to outlive us all. All right.
There were some people.
And that was a
who were on
bad draw.
board.
I mean, look, the juice, unless he gets hit by a truck, he's
I hope
not
he doesn't
going down.
ever see this. That you have
Exactly.
him, because you could
Like,
be.
I'm not happy
at
that I
risk.
have O.J. Simpson. I would rather have somebody else that was more likely to check out sometime in the next year. But and I have some senator that I don't even remember which one it was, but some guy that's like an old geezer that's in the Senate.
Well, if it was Orrin Hatch, you'd be in the money already. But I guess it
Yeah, but
wasn't.
Hatch was already dead, so that didn't help me out. And it rotates. You could end up with a guy like I've had people that later took down the pool that I held at one time, but unfortunately, they didn't check out during that period of time before somebody else that was on the list rolled a 7, and so then the redraw, you don't have the same guy. So I've had a few people that have bit the dust,
In the
but
food
never
world-
in the right time.
Not that I want to say, but in the food world, besides me, who would you think would qualify to be on the Deadpool list?
Well, Emerald, I mean, he looks like he's going to pop a vein at any time.
Nice.
What about that other guy that was disgraced, that had the fancy Bagatelle and the other places?
Oh, Mario Batali.
Yeah,
that's
Batali.
something
I
think
mean,
that
he could,
be
anything could
What about
happen
the
to him.
woman, the southern woman,
any-
the white hair? Is she still with us? The one they used
Paula
to do the
Deen?
Southern Paula Dean.
Paula
used to
Dean,
be
she's
like
still with
already-
us, despite the amount of
Oh, yeah.
biscuits
be a
and
good one.
gravy that she's eaten.
She was overweight.
I wonder, did anybody in your Deadpool have Anthony Bourdain? Did that
I
pay
don't
off
know
for
if
somebody?
Bourdain took down our Deadpool, but I'm sure he did somewhere. Although, no, he was too young. He wouldn't have even been on
He
the
was
list. in all likelihood.
57, which no, wait,
Yeah.
maybe he was 62.
Well, and he
always
killed
thought was
himself,
younger.
which doesn't disqualify you. It doesn't matter how it happens, but he would have been unlikely to be on the list because he appeared to be in really good health and he was under 70. So it probably was not even a name that was drawn.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's a
all right, let's
fascinating
move-
pool, Mike. I'm telling you, you really, with all your gambling degeneracy tendencies,
Dreams, man.
I think you'd really enjoy it. I really do.
Can't believe we started the show with this today.
Good
on
party
such
though
a-
last night.
I was
Good party.
but I was in such a good mood and so happy now, and now
too.
we're talking about that. Well, anyway, that's it. It's you got me flustered with
You
that.
have a tendency to dwell on the macabre, though, which is one of the things that we like about you.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you keep eating sandwiches like this, I don't want to say anything.
I think
but,
it's
I was-
consider expanding the list.
It was a little bit of a stress eating the last couple of weeks. I got to be honest, and I did have a 4 sandwich day yesterday, which
4
I'm going to
sandwiches, one
conclude
day.
with
Wow.
with the eating the second half of the 4th sandwich as my eating the sandwich for today, and that was a Mexican chicken torta that I got from this little hole in the wall place in Hallandale Beach, off Hallandale Beach Boulevard, called Chapultepec. And I'll get into that saga in a minute. But I wanted to ask you a question because, I'm a little bit superstitious, not necessarily religious, but I'm very weirdly superstitious. And the other day I realized it was time to buy a new pair of shoes, my running slash walking shoes. I went in, I got my new Brooks Beasts. I love the Brooks Beasts. They're good for like me and you, Defo, for people who have wide feet. They're built for wide feet. They're very comfortable.
It's known as Jew foot, believe it or not.
Yeah, Jew foot.
Because Jewish people have flat feet, and they're usually pretty wide. Yeah,
very wide. And,
which I do. I mean, being Jewish.
Yes. So I got, it ended up being like exactly a year, almost to the day, since I bought my last pair. And I bought these and I said, you know what? This last pair weren't so lucky. Maybe these new shoes. Do you believe that like new shoes can bring you new and good luck?
Well, I don't know. Supposedly, I mean, do you have to slide into some dog poop for them to
That's the old Brooklyn wives tale.
trigger in the luck factor? Usually they bring me like
blisters,
blisters, and it's unfortunate because I'm kind of
I tell
dealing
you
with
what.
one right now. And no matter how many times you stick it with a pin, somehow it always ends up coming back.
I tell you what, no matter. So I bought these shoes Monday at about 4:30 p.m. I played a poker tournament on Monday night at the Hard Rock. I cashed 6th out of 137 and
Wow.
made almost a G. And then I played a little sit and go on my online league last night and ended up clearing about $500. I took that down and
No wonder you're excited for tonight.
I played, basically got the new shoes. Played 2 poker tournaments and basically cashed in both. Got a negative test result that I was very much looking forward to. And I've taken, 2 good walks of life this morning with my daughter at the crack of dawn. She suggested to me, because she knew I had this doctor's appointment. I was a little tense. She said, Dad, how about let's wake up at 6:30 and take a nice sunrise walk on the beach? I said, that sounds wonderful.
How old your daughter?
You should have shot right back. Lose my number.
And she said
that would have been the thing. LMN. Lose my number.
Before
Even to your daughter.
Starts in the summer, like her last week off. Let's wake up early.
Yeah.
We'll walk. This is your daughter.
This is my daughter.
Good
She's
job by you,
she really wants you to
I was
change
not
your evil
doing that.
ways. She sees the light. Yeah.
Look, she's wonderful. She's the Hulk. She gives me a reason for being. It's great that she has that kind of level of maturity. And yeah, she says she doesn't mind waking up early, and she's not going back to school till the end of the month because her school's on a different schedule. And so
how'd she work that out, man? That's a good one. Oh, private school?
Great. Yeah, private. Yeah,
okay.
August 31st. But she's doing cheerleading practice has already gotten underway, so she's got that 3 times a week. She's working today at her job. I dropped her off at 10:30. She's a go-getter.
Where'd you find this girl, Mike? I mean, obviously she spends more time with her mother.
Yeah.
Baby mama, obviously doing
baby
a lot of good
mama. On
work.
top of that, she came up with the name. Everybody's like gets squeamish as soon as you say that.
Nikki
on the
hates
show.
it. Nikki Mohan hates when he says it. She thinks
And again, it's her doing. That's her preferred
It
nomenclature.
sounds like a baby out of wedlock that you don't even know who the father is. I mean, what is that?
We're out of wedlock now, and that's all that.
But that's different. It's after the fact. I mean,
it's after the fact.
That's perfectly acceptable.
But anyway, quick rundown of yesterday's 4 sandwiches, gentlemen. We started off, of course, at Costas Greek Eatery and Pizzeria. Had another fantastic show there.
What did you do with the rest of that sandwich? You didn't leave it there, did you?
No, I
took it with you.
Took it home, and you know what? I've learned the tricks of the trade. I now have a little cooler that I carry in my car, and I pack it with an ice pack every day. So when I do go around on these gambling gourmet expeditions,
it's like you're catching fish. Unbelievable. You throw them into the thing on the boat. Oh my
throw it
God.
in my little cooler.
Who brings a cooler to
leftovers.
accumulate food? Usually you bring a cooler because you want to bring your own food. Because you don't want to stop. That is wow. Logic.
As long as they don't bring the cooler to the poker table, that's fine.
Oh my
Laotian friend. Anyway, so yeah, that was sandwich number 1, the classic Greek gyro.
Enough
that was
for a
delicious and very well seasoned. I love that tzatziki, and it has that the actual gyro meat is very well seasoned. Good stuff. Then I met Dick Steen, as you call him, the Antichrist of diets, and we had a meeting at a place that was really, really nice out in Western Delray Beach at the far reaches of Atlantic Avenue, kind of where it ends, west of 441, a place called Pizzeria Sofia. And I guess they have portraits and pictures of Sophia Loren. It's a Sophia Loren themed little pizza place. But I met the guy who owns it, a guy named Frankie, and his interesting pedigree, because he used to run one of the best pizzerias in Miami called Andiamo. and he was in partnership. He used to work at the News Cafe with one of the big names that used to be in the Miami restaurant scene, Mark Soika, and he worked and also worked there with Soika Kitchen in Midtown Miami, and then this guy Frank, he's from Philadelphia originally, opened up this Andiamo, and then eventually closed up shop, and he had his eye on this place. He figured there's a lot of new development out there, a lot of kind of older Northeasterners with money. And of course, he opens 1 month later, the pandemic hits, but he survived. And he's from Philadelphia, and that's why he's doing these sandwiches. And he bakes all his own breads in-house every day, along with the pizzas that were pretty good. And I'm so sick, we ordered a pizza as an appetizer after my first lunch, and I had a slice of a margarita pizza. It was pretty good. And then we brought in the sandwich orgy of Dickstein. We split half and half. We got the roast pork with provolone and broccoli rabe that he had and was raving about a couple of weeks ago. And then we also got the classic sausage, peppers, and onions, which I don't know what you think about that, but I used to love getting that outside Fenway Park.
No, outstanding. First time I ever had one, it was just like a home run. I had it at an Italian festival and in New York. And right after that, I ended up discovering Zapola's, Zeps, which I hadn't had before. But sausage, pepper, and onions, you can't go wrong. Absolutely great.
No, it was great. And I had, I finished
Fenway, they're grilling them all day long, man. It's great.
Outside on Yawkey Way. That's a classic thing when I went to school in Boston. I love those things. And this one, is both of them were very solid. I had the full half of the pork, and the sausage, I couldn't finish the whole thing. I brought that and put that in the cooler. So
I got 2 red snapper and a grouper. I mean, I could see you coming home.
And then after my daughter gets done with work yesterday, she's like hungry. And I said, I just ate huge all day. I'm not going to have anything. And she's like, oh, it's Taco Tuesday. Let's check out. I said, oh, yeah, I want to check out this not a new place. It's been there a while. Somebody on the Let's Eat Facebook group posted about it the other day. I said, I've always wondered about that place. So we pulled into Chapultepec. And, you ever have this happen where it's really authentic. Nobody there speaks any English. The menu is all in Spanish. You get that vibe. They also have this little Mexican grocery store next to the restaurant, like it's probably operated by the same family. But the weird part was we walk in, I liked it, but then I got this whiff of like something's going on here and it's not good, where there was some sort of plumbing issue or backup in the bathrooms, and it's like, I don't know if we should stay here. But they had outdoor tables, so we ordered our dinner and sat outside. And I got, even though I wasn't hungry, I'm always thinking ahead, like a master poker player or a chess master. I was like, I need my sandwich for tomorrow. And so, and that's when I texted you, like, is a taco considered a sandwich? And you both.
I don't believe
I didn't say no.
Taco is not
Defo's been really.
A taco is a taco. It's a different category.
It has 2 sides, me in the middle. I don't know.
It has 2 sides, and if you use the flour tortilla, I mean, flour is what's in bread.
It's not
and,
a sandwich. I don't even know if a burrito would be considered a sandwich.
Yeah,
but a taco certainly not.
Our friend Carlos Frias, the James Beard Award-winning journalist and food editor at the Miami Herald, disagrees with you, Defo. He says anything that comes in between 2 pieces of anything can be considered a sandwich. So, like, he considers a hot dog a sandwich. He considers a taco a sandwich.
But it's not. Everybody knows this. I mean, you don't sit there and say, hey, I had a sandwich today. And they said, what kind? A hot dog. It's never the answer to the question. You had a hot dog. It's a separate category, as is a taco, in my opinion. I think, with all due respect to the award-winning Carlos Frias, I mean, he may as well be Arturo Frias, the lightweight champion, former lightweight champion, in this regard, because I can't see where he's right about that. I just can't.
Them's a fighting word. We're going to have to get Carlos on before the end of Sandwich Month to get his full, maybe his top 10 list.
He's great, by the way. He's a terrific, writer and guest.
He's a former sports scribe too, so how could he not be? He's taken the same crazy path as me. He started off in sports, and then he did some features, stories, and news at the Palm Beach Post, and then he ended up the food guy at the Miami Herald. So
does a great job.
Good path. But anyway, I ended up on the path of downward. All
right, so what is that?
Spiral.
I mean,
so this is what's known as a torta, which is a Mexican sandwich that you get at some Mexican restaurants, and you can see this is only half of it. I actually did eat half of it with my daughter last night. It's chicken. I was expecting like a chicken breast. It's like shredded chicken on here. You can't really see it. but it
All
comes
right, you
with
can kind of make it out.
shredded chicken, lettuce, there's jalapenos, there's some avocado on there too
All
on the
right.
side here. This sandwich, it was good because it came with everything that the menu said it would come with, which is a bonus. I've been finding this month that a lot of places either omit or don't have the ingredients that they list. Um, and it's a hefty sandwich. Last night when it came out, the bread was nice and soft, and the chicken, even though it's like chopped up and shredded, um, very flavorful. It was well
It wasn't
seasoned.
dry. That's good.
Yeah, no, not dry at all, which is my problem sometimes with that
Tastes
chopped
good.
up chicken.
Yep.
And I I ended up I gave her a couple of bites, but I polished off half the sandwich, even though I was not hungry in the least. And like I was eating like I was going to the chair because there was
Never
these
knew.
big unknowns. So yesterday was the four bagger, the four sandwich day, and
Wow.
but I luckily saved a half to consume that we'll consume after the first break here. But before we go to the break, we're going to talk about Visit Lauderdale and more sandwiches because tomorrow, very special sandwich month edition of the Visit Lauderdale Lunchbox with Nikki Mohan. We're going to be going to Broad Shoulders Sandwiches on East Commercial Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, where the owners, proprietors, Tom and Cheryl, are going to be feeding us and treating us to all kinds of handhelds, things like the hot Italian beef sandwich, which is big in Chicago, and a fried chicken sandwich, and a Cuban sandwich, and they also have a Reuben sandwich. Are you going to come on out there, Defo? You can come
I
on
might
out.
venture out there if I can work it out. I definitely will because it's sort of right around the corner. It's like 10 minutes away, so should be able to do it. And I've heard great things about this place on Let's Eat South Florida. Which one great thing about the Facebook page is that you may not agree with every opinion. Obviously, there's some real radical departures in terms of opinion on certain places, but the majority I think tends to rule and bring the rationale out there. And I would say I haven't seen anything negative about this place, and that almost 100% anybody that said anything about it says, "Wow, it's great. You really should try it." So that's usually a key for me on the Let's Eat South Florida page to say, "Okay, I'm going to give
Yeah,
that place a shot."
it opened earlier this year. They both have fine dining experience. It's clean, it's well run. You could see that things are put together with care and with quality ingredients. And I went in there once and I really liked it. And they appreciate that I posted about them on Let's Eat. So they're happy to have us come out tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're in the neighborhood, come on out to Broad Shoulders tomorrow. We'll be doing the show from 12 to 1. Or come on out anytime later on after the day. Get yourself a nice sandwich. It's perfect for conveniently located going back and forth to the beach. I think it's in the old spot that used to be a Mexican place, that Eduardo de San Angel. That was one of my favorite restaurants in town. Eduardo Pria was the chef owner, and he retired and was renting out the space, and then COVID hit, and then he sold the building, and now they carved it up into two different places, and now it's one of the two spots is the Broad Shoulders Sandwiches. That's going to be fun, but if you can't
A
make
lot
it
of
out
good
here.
restaurants in that little strip section
Oh,
there
yeah.
too. I mean, from even the bridge, say, and over the intercoastal to Federal, there are like at least 10, 15 very interesting small spots in there.
Got Anthony's Clam House. This is one of your favorites, and
You got the
it was
Ambry and
nice.
all of these other joints. I mean, a couple
Ambry.
of
I think even
Italian places.
Primavera
Yeah,
is
yeah.
an Italian joint that's been around at Giacomo. He used to be further on east. He's further west on Oakland Park, but he's a long time restaurant operator.
Got
He does a
American
great job.
Tapas now over there
American
too in that
Tapas
area.
is very good, and of course you go all the way out to the beach, and what do you get? Even Keel Fish Shack. It's an Even
Yes.
Keel Wednesday. I think we're going to be trying to get out there next Wednesday
right.
to see Brad and Dave and the boys, and I'm sure I'll have a fish sandwich out there next week for a sandwich month. Oh my God, so many sandwiches, not enough time, and it's the same thing. Dine Out Lauderdale is going on now with the
great
Visit
deals.
Lauderdale folks, and so many restaurants, and time is running out, but thankfully not too short. Because not just all of August, but all of September, 30 days in September, this Dine Out Lauderdale promotion will be ongoing. And that's dozens and dozens of top restaurants in Greater Fort Lauderdale offering amazing 3 and 4 course meals starting at just $35. And all these kind of high end places up and down the beach, places like Dune and Evelyn's at the new Four Seasons Hotel in Fort Lauderdale, down on Las Olas Boulevard. You've got the places like Wild Sea Oyster Bar and Grill at the Riverside Hotel. and our friends on Broward Boulevard at the Catherine. That's Timon Ballou, one of the best chefs around in South Florida, and his wife Marissa. They're offering things like their heirloom tomato and burrata salad, short rib with summer corn, and desserts that are always changing, but their specialty, one of them is chocolate pudding, which sounds ordinary, but it's extraordinary when you get it at a place like the Catherine. So check out all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus now from more than 50 participating restaurants at visitlauderdale.com/deals and plan your culinary adventure to the greater Fort Lauderdale area now. You can get your taste of the good life for less. Again, check it all out at visitlauderdale.com/deals.
That whole thing with Cosby kind of soured me on chocolate pudding, but maybe I can get that thing corrected if I check it out at the Catherine. All right, more to come. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. The question of the day
We're going
is,
to be eating. We're going to be
will
eating.
there be a National Salad Month to
Yeah,
help Mike
something.
Mayo atone for what seems to
something.
be, I guess it would be Death Wish 4 that we were talking about, because there was a Death Wish 3, Lubie said, came out years after. Bronson was in a wheelchair, and he was like going onto the subway train and whacking these people as a vigilante. All right, coming back with more on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox in a moment.
You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. And we're back on the Lunchbox on a Wednesday, hump day edition. I'm going to be eating steak and surf later on, turf and surf at Tropical Acres. If anybody wants to come on out and have a drink at the bar with us, come in peace. I'll be there about 6:30. I know Defo and Lubie might be a little bit later, but I'm
Shouldn't you have to wear a Panther jersey to this occasion?
If I had one, I would. I could find some sort of piece of. Well, I have my Rangers jersey, but that wouldn't be very appropriate. So
I have an old Dennis Schwitke jersey. That
Do you really?
Unfortunately, I got roped into. I thought Schwitke was going to be really good. He was like a first-round pick of the Panthers, and they always bomb, or so it seems on these things. And so I bought 1,000 Schwitke jerseys to sell. So I'll show one. Dennis Schwitke.
I had a very schwitzy jersey or shirt this morning after my beach walk. All right, I'm going in, gentlemen, because we got to get to the raw oyster story. So here I go. The Mexican Chicken Torta from.
You already know what this tastes like, though.
Oh yeah, I had it last night.
Taking some of the element of surprise out.
Well, what's the surprise? It's a sandwich.
National Salad Month. I mean, we're looking forward to call Sarni, see when that is.
This, to its credit, has a bunch of green in here. Can you see? There's a green of lettuce.
That doesn't qualify as a salad.
There's a green of avocado, and there's a green of a jalapeno pepper. And,
giant pieces of bread also, are involved in this particular.
Let me ask you, not to discredit the torta, because I would have asked this after any sandwich.
Yeah.
Does at some point, now that you've had like 25 sandwiches, do they start to taste the same? Like no. It's just stuff on bread, like, or are you still able? You've done a good job at getting high quality sandwiches.
I mean, it's like saying, "Oh, you've dated already, 5 different women, a blonde and a redhead, like just all infinite varieties." Can anybody understand me through all the food?
No. That's why I was going to keep talking until you were done chewing, and
you're essentially making a fool of yourself, and at the same time trying to justify
that's
eating.
My thing is, like, I'm not the biggest sandwich guy, so that's why I don't know. I wouldn't. 31 sandwiches would be a lot for me. Like, I don't really like eating that much bread. I'm not a big. That's a lot of bread.
Sandwiches are like snowflakes, my friends. I mean, they are all distinct and unique in their own special way. and all these different ones. Yeah, I can tell the difference. I mean, a Mexican torta is different than an Italian panini is different than a Cuban sandwich, even though a lot of them are like on flattened and similar types of ciabatta bread, but they bring their own unique styles. I love it. I love sandwiches. I'm so happy I'm doing this. My cardiologist might
most
not
people
be.
are repulsed by it. I mean, we're 16, 17 days into this thing, and people are asking, hey, when is this sandwich thing going to end?
Did you think? First of all, the people that were actually missing us at 12, that's remarkable. It's great. Tell them it's on at 8 o'clock at night, and also tell them
Easy
to
to
find
find
us here.
All you have to do is look up Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on
And
YouTube.
and I'm glad, we have this good mix here. We do a little bit of food, a little bit of sports, sometimes hard news if events warrant it. And let's get into some of this hard news that also combines the food world, and it's a tragic story. It's funny because somebody sent in a post about a week ago to Let's Eat saying a friend of theirs died after eating an oyster, and everybody be careful. I didn't approve it because it wasn't confirmed and all that, but obviously maybe somebody from the Sun Sentinel that we run the Let's Eat South Florida group together with went out and checked it out like good newspaper reporters, and it turns out it was true. It was an older gentleman who used to actually work at the restaurant in question, Rustic Inn, which has been a long time mainstay. It's near me. It's near our friends where we're going tonight, but on that Ravenswood Road area near the Fort Lauderdale Airport, old time crab house where everybody pounds their mallets. Have you been there, Defo?
I've been in a Rustic Inn. Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah,
and generally very favorable reviews for the Rustic Inn.
Well, Rustic Inn, besides serving their world famous garlic crabs, and it used to be family owned and run, and they sold out to a bigger New York based restaurant corporation. But apparently, I didn't realize one of the family members is still involved and is kind of the manager, and was contacted after this. Here, I guess, got the tip. But it turns out did not make any denials. I guess the health department, they did an investigation. They found this older gentleman. There was nothing else that he could have done where he could have contracted this specific pathogen. This it's not a virus; it's a bacteria that's found in some oysters. I don't have the story in front of me, but I think it's something like it begins with a V. And again, every time you go out to a place that serves raw shellfish, it has a warning sign. It's supposed to have a warning sign on the menu and on the premises saying, "Warning: eating, consuming raw, uncooked, shellfish, seafood can be hazardous to your health and can cause illness and death because of this type of situation." It's a rarity. But the older you are, and if you have any kind of immunocompromised conditions, the weaker your immune system, which naturally happens with age, that you do run a risk of eating raw oysters. And my advice is, if you are in that risk category, you got to weigh the risks and the rewards. And I don't know about you, Defo. I mean, not to pick on you for your age and being serious here, but do you eat raw oysters and things like that now,
Yeah, I'll eat raw oysters. I mean, my favorite, and we'll be heading back to New Orleans Friday evening. But and the first order of business will be get a dozen grilled oysters somewhere.
Well, grilled is fine.
Grilled is fine, yeah. And I'm more inclined to get them that way than I am, to eat them raw. I will eat raw oysters, but I don't go out of my way to do it. I mean, various issues like the gout, kind of discourage me from that. But the grilled oysters, I love them. I love the way they do them in New Orleans. I love the way Tom Tanazzini did it last Friday, as close as I've seen to anybody, because he does do the real thing there, and he knows the recipes and gets the right kind of oysters. But what's funny? I finally noticed a sign. I was in a bar. We were just having a couple of drinks off of Jackson Square in New Orleans, just during the day, walking around. We stopped in a bar because it was steaming hot outside. And it was the first time I saw like a big version of the sign that eating oysters can be very dangerous or whatever. And we asked about it, and they said, yeah, like you had just explained, places have to have that. It's mandatory. To warn people. And I don't know, does that disclaimer get them off the hook for any liability, or
it usually does, because it's like an assumed risk. And I don't know about you, maybe you should encourage OJ Simpson to start eating some raw oysters.
Juice isn't checking out. I'm not going to win with that one. I hope the old geezer senator goes before so many other people on the list if I'm going to win this
the
round.
Old geezer senator, that's only about 90 out of the 100 senators, right? So
there won't be any Democratic senators or representatives if it continues to go in this direction of yesterday's primary
I don't want
results.
to. I'm not getting into that here. So the oysters again. Again, if you grill them, as long as you cook them in some way up to a certain temperature, that removes the pathogen.
So
that
Rockefeller,
removes the
you're
risk.
good to go. Yeah.
Again, Rockefeller, Bienville, the grilled. Then you're
Fried-
okay. But it's
fried
when you
oysters.
have those beautiful, briny, fresh. And okay, so here's where I'm heading to is
That sucks,
these-
though. I mean, what a way to go! I was worried I was going to get hit by lightning yesterday. I took my walk of life, unfortunately, at an inopportune time, and looked up at the sky afterwards and said, "What am I doing out here?" From an oyster,
That's called hitting
check
the.
out.
It's called hitting the reverse lottery, where instead of hitting that 1 in a billion Powerball, you get that 1 in a billion bad oyster that'll kill you.
Thank God you got your new sneakers. I mean, at least you're safe. It's better than having a solid immune system, it seems.
So, no, two things. So, there's actually been multiple deaths in Florida this month from raw oysters. The other one was consumed up in the Panhandle, but neither of the oysters in question were from Florida, because actually the Florida oyster business has basically gotten driven out of business. It used to be up in Apalachicola, but I think it's all gone under after different storms and COVID. These two oysters in question that caused the fatalities were both from Louisiana, much to the chagrin of Tom Tanazzini.
Are you telling me? I mean, come on, Michael.
Those were
Yeah,
cooked.
no, and again, and this is one of the things, like it used to be where you wouldn't, people, the saying was, don't eat oysters in months that have an R, that don't have an R in them, which is basically from May through
Don't eat oysters. Okay.
August, like September.
August, you
But
don't have oysters.
I don't, but that's an old wives' tale. But here's my rule of thumb: is that I'll eat raw oysters year round from cold weather, like cold water. Up in Prince Edward Island and Maine and Massachusetts have some excellent oysters, and same thing up in British Columbia and Washington State. I get those fancy East Coast, West Coast oysters. I don't eat raw Gulf oysters anymore, actually, period. I don't.
Oh, wow.
Because I think the water has gotten too warm between the Deepwater Horizon oil spill and all the other contaminants in the Gulf. I mean, I just don't want to eat raw stuff with these bivalves. They basically what's the word? Crap into themselves. I mean, that's their whole their digestive system. So, like, any toxins or stuff
that's coming for me soon too. I mean, it's only a matter of time. At 71, I'll have that same bivalve syndrome going.
I will eat the oysters Rockefeller, or like Tom made those delicious grilled oysters last week from Louisiana.
No fear on that.
But if something is coming from Florida, Louisiana, Texas, raw oysters, I don't do it anymore. But I will eat
horrible way to go. Wow.
The well fleets all day. And it's funny because the Sun Sentinel did a big investigative series, probably about 8 to 10 years ago, and I think it was called something like Deadly Harvest, just about the risks of eating these oysters, especially from the Gulf. Even though they've made major strides in terms of like pasteurization, and they're farmed now, and they do try to make them as safe as possible, but there's still risk. And even the northern and the Canadian oysters, there's also risks. I got sick from an oyster that came from British Columbia earlier this year, but it wasn't with this. This wasn't the deadly pathogen. It was a norovirus, and norovirus just makes you, it just gives you gastrointestinal symptoms for a couple of days, and you feel like crap. But it was from, both me and Dickstein both ate the same oysters, and we both got sick. And so we pinpointed it. There are risks with eating raw seafood, but there's also rewards. And for me, there's nothing better when you go into some of these seafood restaurants, and like our friends at Bubbles and Pearls, and you get, just that cold, briny thing. You squirt a little fresh lemon and a little Tabasco sauce, and you have that with a beer. I think the key is also you have beer or wine, because I think the alcohol kills all pathogens. But that is not scientifically proven. It's just always worked for me. So anyway, that's our serious.
Has there been a decline in the orders of raw oysters at the Rustic Inn? Are people more inclined to order the crab now?
You go there and order it after that.
I feel bad because they take a hit, but at least they're upfront and honest. The guy didn't try to run away.
What are you going to say?
Say no comment.
Yeah.
He could have said, he could have gotten it from something else, but obviously the health authorities, did their investigation because they want to alert people, especially if there's a known bad batch, and they
What a
have
way
these.
to go, man. That's
That
a
sucks.
horrible way to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I was always worried when I was riding my wave runners a lot that I was going to get hit in the head by like a pelican or something, that was low flying, and that would be a horrible way to go, or maybe a flying coconut. But yeah, from
yeah,
eating a raw oyster, I mean, you're just going out to dinner. You're not expecting to go mama cass on this thing and choke to death.
when I walk in my neighborhood, I'm deathly afraid of there's some of these big palm trees, like the ones on Hollywood Boulevard that have those
Yeah.
huge fronds. And I see them drop down sometimes. And like if one of those lands on your head, you're done. Like these are like
Sayonara.
100-pound things that when they fall, and that's why I walk on the beach, because the only thing that'll hit me on the head is, I guess, a kamikaze seagull or something like that. Wants to
That
eat my
lightning was a little
leftover
scary
sandwich.
yesterday.
Yeah.
The lightning was bad. I mean,
bad.
that's not a thing that you should mess around with.
Hey, I am so excited tonight, gentlemen, because we're finally doing it. Tropical Acres Steakhouse
Wow.
and Butcher Shop, and we're going to be talking. We're going to be hopefully seeing Jack Studiali along with
that'd be
the rest
cool.
of his crew. He says he's going to come in and pay a special visit, and hopefully we'll have a little drink with him. But I'm looking forward to every time I go in there. It's just a great experience. It's a South Florida institution that's been around longer than Defo's been alive, since 1949, 73 years. Tonight they have the twin lobster special. That's 2 whole steamed Maine lobsters that you get with a side dish and a salad for just $35. I'm definitely getting that. I'm telling them, I'm going to call them right after the show's over and say, hey, make sure you have a couple of those lobster specials left.
I'm leaning in
And
that direction
Yeah,
too.
we're all leaning
and
that way.
and well, somebody's got to get a steak. We got to throw the turf in with the surf at some point.
Sarnie is the guy
Sarnie.
that we
Get, okay.
He
have
is
get
our-
everything else that we want that we don't order ourselves.
You got the great filet mignon, the prime rib that's made in-house daily, all the great things there. It's again, Tropical Acres at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of 95 in the airport. Next week, if you're a teacher, don't forget they're having that special promotion Monday through Thursday. Make a reservation now. If you're a teacher, you'll get a free entree with your
Wow.
valid teacher's ID card. Make your reservation now at 954-989-2500, 954-989-2500. Spots are filling up fast, but that's their one way that they're just good citizens, good people, showing appreciation for all the hardworking folks out there. They have a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for those who want to cook at home. The dining room opens with the early bird special every day but Sunday at 4:30 p.m. And again, they have happy hour in the bar the first 2 hours, half price wine night Monday and Tuesday. The loyalty reward club card, every 12 entrees you purchase, you get the 13th one for free. Tropical Acres, we love them. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
There's something about Jack Studiali. He's one of those guys that always makes you feel good when you see him.
I haven't met him yet, so
Yeah.
I know he's a busy guy. But if he has time to get by there tonight, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Meet up.
I hope, you'll get to see him. All class. You see the guy, he just,
It's Trevor Demon time, exuding class and moving like a winner. That's Jack Studiali. Looking forward to that tonight. Excuse me, and looking forward to more of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Did you finish that thing? What's going on with the sandwich there?
He
May as
doesn't
well go out the
actually-
door here to the break with another biteful.
I'm going.
More of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox
Going in.
and the continuing chow down as he's got some kind of Mexican sandwich working today. And we'll have more of this in a moment.
people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there. tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. From our friends at Visit Lauderdale and Lauder Deals, don't miss Dine Out Lauderdale during August and September in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Dozens of top restaurants are offering amazing 3 and 4 course meals starting at just $35. See all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus from more than 50 participating restaurants online at visitlauderdale.com/deals. More taste sensations are being added daily, so plan your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale and get your taste of the good life for less. Dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo here for Costas Greek Eatery and Pizzeria. If you want to take a trip to the Aegean without getting on a plane and no need for a passport, just go up to 1940 Northeast 49th Street in Pompano Beach, just west of Federal Highway, just a little bit north of Sample Road, and you will be transported to Greece along with a New York-style pizzeria. They do it both so well. They got Greek specialties like gyros and souvlaki and the grape leaves and the spinach pie, and also great New York thin, crisp New York-style Greek pizza with pepperoni. Don't miss that one. And of course, spinach and gorgonzola. Costa is a great guy. He'll smash a plate, say Opa, and greet and treat you like family. Go to Costas. It's open every day for lunch and dinner. Tell him the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Take it away, Defo. I'm trying to
Oh, wow.
finish this.
Still eating Mike Mayo. We desperately need to get to National Salad Month and our National Vegetarian Month or something. Get some healthy stuff into this guy's system here because, I mean, he's eaten at least the equivalent of 12 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
And we're only halfway through the month. And that's just on the sandwiches that he's had on the air, plus all of this other stuff. All right, well, I'm glad you're doing the Walk of Life, Mike Mayo, and thank God you got those sneakers, and it kind of turned your whole, betting adventures around. Because you were starting to grouse a little bit that it hadn't been going well, and that God was against you. I loved it when you came out with that statement at the track.
He's not even religious.
It's funny, yeah. A guy who hasn't spent one day in a church or a temple his entire lifetime. God is against me, and you feel that way sometimes. But obviously, the gods of gambling have lined up on your side, which is good.
Everything now. I am thankful.
Thank God for your daughter. I have to say that she is the only chance we have of persisting and sustaining this show past like this year. We have to keep you alive. I mean, that's become a concern for Lubie and me.
Before the break, there was a sandwich. Now, no sandwich.
Wow. Okay. So where would you rate this one? I mean, you really didn't give it too much of an official Mayo review here, and you are, after all, the Gambling Gourmet.
What are your stars?
I liked it. I would give this a recommended. I like.
Would you go out of your way to get another one?
We have 3.5.
No, I'd give it 3. But there's a place up in Coral Springs called La Union Mexican Bakery.
La Union, it's great.
Yeah.
That place is great.
They make great tortas. So that would be my torta spot. That would be the spot for 4-star tortas. Could anybody understand me? Because I feel like a chipmunk.
No, they've learned to understand. We're actually going to start putting up like a little crawl. Yeah.
Now, the beautiful part, if you actually watch the Facebook
transcript,
feed, they automatically put the captioning on. So it's not always 100% correct because for some reason, instead of a Lubie, I think it comes out Doobie.
Or Louie. I'm either Louie or Lubie.
So, I could smoke them if you got them. Smoke a Doobie and smoke a Lubie.
And we'll see you tonight. You should come check us out tonight. We will be at our Tropical Acres.
Oh, yeah, Tropical Acres tonight. Come by for a drink at the bar there. Say hello to Mike Mayo.
Tropical Acres tonight.
Hoping a green-eyed girl drops by. She's a big fan of the show.
Busy touring schedule. Tropical Acres tonight. Broad shoulder sandwiches tomorrow from 12 to 1. And there was one more thing. I forgot. Oh, Shenanigans. Of course, the 30th anniversary party, Saturday, both locations. I'm going to be at wherever Pat Utter's at. I don't know if probably the original one on Park Road and Sheridan Street across from TY Park.
Still my favorite
out,
of the two.
Have
locations.
a drink. celebrate 30 years of shenanigans. They're great people, great sandwiches, and burgers, and fish sandwiches, and the wings, and all that stuff. And again, if you come wearing Dolphins paraphernalia for the preseason game Saturday night at 7 o'clock, you get a free beer, free shot, and all kinds of good stuff. All right, that's going to do it for now. Thank you for tuning into the Lunchbox. It's Mike Mayo for Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, saying we'll see you tomorrow and enjoy every torta and sandwich.